Homesteader family, welcome back to the journey. Welcome to this edition of the Sunday Monday vlog. You can see this is the movie for the clip I just showed on the video clip for this video. This is The Old Way. Nicolas Cage is in it. Just got done watching that movie. Just finished it like 5 minutes before I had to go live. And I don't know about you, but when I saw Nicolas Cage did a new movie and it was a Western, I was like, this ain't going to be good. A lot of his movies lately have just tanked, gone downhill. A lot of people in all different movies, all different actors, actresses, it's like the movies just suck nowadays. But I was surprised. He actually did very well in this movie. I liked it. It kept me entertained. And he actually played the part very well. It wasn't just like a sketchy side of being a cowboy. He actually, got into the role and everything like that. So he did very, very good with the new movie, The Old Way. So if you guys haven't seen it, I recommend it. If you don't like Westerns, it's the old way, because it shows how it was back in the day, and it shows a newer version or whatever. But it was a good movie. Just want to throw that out there. Two, a bunch of you that are talking about moving to Arkansas now. I watched another TV show, not movie. This was a movie. I watch a TV show called On Patrol Live. So if anybody out there watches On Patrol Live, over the last month, Arkansas has made Crime of the Week, or Crime of the Night. They changed it to Crime of the Night for like several nights in a row, several weeks, going and going and going. And once again, last night, I watched my episode of On Patrol Live, and Arkansas was Crime of the Night again. And so if you are planning to move to Arkansas, understand that Arkansas is like the 1800s, when a Western like The Old Way, how the sheriffs and everything just got in gunfights. Didn't matter who was around. They did their thing. They went after the guy, shot everything up, did all that. And that's kind of what Arkansas is. So if you watch On Patrol Live, or just Google, you can click on Google and just search Arkansas high-speed chase, officer rollovers in Arkansas, all these different things. You can watch and see all this. And I tell you, the Arkansas State Police here are just crazy. I mean, it's like the 1800s. Like I said, like the old-fashioned gunfights of the sheriffs going after the bad guys. They flip cars. So once again, last night, another state trooper smashes the car and rolls his state trooper. So I don't know, Arkansas is supposed to be poor, low taxes here, everything like that. How they're funding from being ex-law enforcement, knowing how expensive police cruisers are, light bars and decals and all that type of stuff. It's amazing how many vehicles the Arkansas State Police go through. I mean, almost every single crime of the night, it's at least 2, if not 3 vehicles that are totaled, let alone it's either 1 or 2 of them normally roll. So it's interesting. So if you're coming to Arkansas and you want to bring drama and all that stupid stuff like in the city, highly, highly beware, because you come here, they don't mess around. They're going to take care of you. That's why the communities are tight-knit here. They're welcoming here. And like they say, you bring drama, you bring stupidity, you bring all that type of stuff. They don't want you here in Arkansas. If you want to bring the city life, you're escaping the city to come to Arkansas, and then you want to come here and try to change everything here. So it turns into what you left because you missed what you left, and you're going to destroy this area. Not going to happen. They're going to run you out of here. So just want to throw that out there too, because I texted Steve last night. I told him another one on Patrol Live, because he enjoys watching the videos. So that's that. The third thing going on right now is I am really excited. Coming up May 1st, I am on the schedule. I'm on the schedule for the forestry mulching. So I contacted Strickland. Now I can't remember his business. I just know him as Ike Strickland. Strickland Land Services, I believe, is what it was. but I scheduled with him. He got me on for May 1st. And then I'm going to get more forestry mulching done later this year in October, November. And I told him I'll figure out a date with you when the time comes up closer to that time. I was thinking I might be getting forestry mulching done in March because I just had the rental house under contract and the contract fell through. They didn't come up with the earnest money to put down for the contract. And so now, whether they changed their mind or what happened, the property out there, 109 Grove Street in Marshall, Arkansas, is still on the market. So I thought we were supposed to close in February. I thought it was gonna, well, I never think. I always say when I have money in hand or when it's finalized, that's when I really say stuff. I wasn't planning to talk about it until February when it closed because I didn't want to say anything. But since the contract already fell through, then I can go ahead and mention it. But I was hoping if it did go through in February, then that would have given me the money I needed to get 3 or 4 days of forestry mulching, not just 2, for what I can save by skimping on spending money throughout the months. Unless everything goes up in price, and I'll be thinking about something different. But that was going to give me the money to get the dozer later this year and do a couple other things I was hoping to do if I got the rental house sold. Now, of course, we still have this whole year, so the rental house will sell at some point, and when that does sell, then I'll be able to do stuff. But if it sells in 6 months, then I've lost half the year being able to do stuff that I wanted to get done. So then that will just roll into 2024. I've been up at the house site. I've been working on clearing the woods, stacking the property lines like I had showed in that one video while I was up there. Been rotating the dogs. You can see them right here. There's Chubbers. He went today. Minnie Mouse over on the couch went today. Mickey Mouse is behind the couch, and then Max is behind me on the floor. Let's see. Oh, clicked it too many times. Let's see. Can we see Max? Bugs, what are you doing down there? You sleeping? Yeah, you sleeping dog. So they've been getting their exercise. They've been enjoying themselves. All of them have been really good. However, Mickey Mouse, yesterday when I took Mickey Mouse, there was a bunch of neighbors over at the neighbor's place, getting in trucks, driving trucks, the dogs barking, stuff like that. And Mickey Mouse has been the hardest one to get to listen. Surprisingly, Max has been the best. Max has listened the best. Chubbs is a little iffy as well, but Mickey Mouse just wanted to go right through the brush pile. So he did good. They all did good. They've all been listening, so they all been getting treats and stuff like that. But I've been out there getting that work done. The Homesteader family got their shed put out on their place. So when I talked to them a couple days ago, they're going to be moving in like in 2 to 3 weeks. They're trying to decide and try to get everything in order because they've got to have some sort of heating device, whether it's a propane heater, wood stove, whatever. And then they got to get a generator for electricity because they got kids. So they don't want to move into the shed until they got a little bit of life started. And it's just like anybody's journey. You know, we all got to start from the bottom. We all got to climb little by little and get to where we're going. The weather here, we've had several days of rain. So I haven't got a whole bunch done because, as we know, I don't work during the rain. Give me 1 second. I'm going to grab my coffee. Because every time I do these live streams, I make a cup of coffee and I sit here and talk. And I don't do what Boss of the Swamp, well, like I said, still my favorite YouTuber, Boss of the Swamp. Just how he does his videos. I wish I could be like that, but that's just his style video. And I don't have the time to put all the editing and noises and everything like he does. But he does his videos and he sips coffee or whatever throughout. And I always make my cup of coffee. It sits over there on the ledge. I end the live stream and then I go to take a sip and it's ice cold. So I'm going to take a sip of coffee real quick while it's still hot. But so with the rain happening, everything's all wet. We have trees budding out. We have tufts of green grass coming through the leaves and everything like that. We have ferns growing already. And now I'm seeing some of the underbrush is already turning green. And then I didn't think about this because it's been since last year that I've experienced this, is the new trees that I'm cutting, all the underbrush, as I'm taking it to stack, it's a lot more work. And what I'm talking about is I started cutting everything in September. It had leaves and stuff on it. And then after, I want to say, halfway through November, when all the leaves finally dropped, cutting down the trees, they were light as a feather, no problem. Well, now, since everything's budding out, all the juices and saps and everything's getting back in those trees now, pulling it from the ground. And it's like water soaked logs. So now, yes, they don't have leaves, so I don't have all that extra weight with the leaves, but I can tell the dormant trees where they're light as a feather to now they're starting to get hefty weight to them. And kind of wish I would have got more done through this winter, but like I said, December I was sick most of the month, so there wasn't much I could do. So working on that, getting that taken care of, and I have an issue now with where you saw the forestry mulching coming off Gregory Lane. I'm running my driveway. Now seeing from the top of the mountain going down how steep the mountain is, even though it's not a 300-foot cliff drop off like on the north side of the mountain, the south side is more even keel going down. But just standing up top looking down, it is still steep, steep, steep. So I'm going to have to get some flagging tape again. I just ran out of my tape from taping the house site. I think I got a couple rolls in the shed somewhere, probably covered in mouse poop, so I'll have to deal with stinky hands or whatever. But I'm going to have to reflag an area and try to figure out how I'm going to do the driveway. So right now, there's a dry creek bed that runs through. And of course, anything like that, I want to try to make ponds throughout the property wherever the ravines are. So I'm thinking about going along that down to Purdom Lane. So I'll have a road going from Gregory over to Purdom Lane, and then I'll have to go through the whole property and then up. And that means I'll have to have gates there, and the animals would be there. So I'm not sure exactly. I'll film a video once I'm over there and give you guys an idea of what I'm talking about. I do need to clear a bunch of the underbrush so you can at least see through, because right now you're not going to be able to see through because everything's starting to fill in a little bit with buds and things like that. And the density of just the regular brush without leaves is dense as it is. But I'm thinking about doing that. And then I'll get a little street sign made or whatever, and that will be today's Homesteader Lane. And so you turn off Gregory onto today's Homesteader Lane to get back to Purdom Lane, and then Purdom Lane gets up to house site, because coming down that mountain, I would need a huge culvert. I would need a lot of dirt and everything brought in just to try to level it so it's halfway decent. I mean, right now it's like that. So I mean, it's not, like I said, a 300-foot drop off, but it's still really, really steep. And I really didn't want to have to go through the animals. I wanted to be able to be home and drive right out if I wanted to. So today's Homesteader Lane will go to Purdom Lane. And then, like the house site, I can see the driveway from the house site looking down if I come to the edge of the drop off. So that would be just a quick little thing to today's Homesteader Lane, and then be able to be right on Gregory Lane. So this way I'll have to go all the way Purdom Lane and then go all the way around the mountain, climb the mountain all the way back up to the house site up here, when the driveway could be right there. So it's going to make driving a lot more. But like I told Steve, and he made fun of me a little bit, because he's like, all the roads around me are all woods. And I said, I want a scenic tour leaving the property and coming back in. And he's like, you got scenic tour all around you when you're driving down the roads. But I'm like, that's not my property. I want to be able to enjoy my property. So this will be a lot longer route um, on how I do it. And I'm going to have to make some adjustments. I'm going to have to make wider turns and things like that. Maybe take out a few more trees to be able to get trailers back and forth. Didn't want to do all that, but it looks like that's going to be the easiest way. I definitely do not want a 45, 50-degree driveway, trying to climb a driveway with loads and things like that. It's going to be bad enough on the other side of the driveway going up the mountain there. It's a bit steep, but I can push and carve out with the dozer some. It's not going to be as bad as this. I mean, it's bad, but not this bad. This is at least twice as bad, if not 3 times as bad as coming up the other side. So I'm going to have to figure out how I want to do the fencing, cross fencing. Of course, the animals eventually are going to be up and down Purdom Lane, so I'm going to have gates there. So I got to figure out if I want to run fencing on both sides of the brush pile, so I have a nice long area that the animals can't come in. And then I'm thinking about if I do solid gates here at Purdom Lane and then a remote control gate here. So this will be like a solar gate. Press a button, the gate's open. I can drive in, and it'd be long enough that I can have my truck and my trailer with plenty of space on both ends. So we're talking, probably at least a 40-foot span. Hey, Andres, how you doing tonight? And then that way I don't have to get out to open and close this gate and then open and close this gate. So with the remote control, then I can pull up, press the remote, it opens the gates, I can drive in, press the remote, it shuts the gates, and then as soon as these gates are shut, then I can open these gates. So that way if animals come in, because for those of you that don't have livestock or animals, if you have one gate open or 2 gates open, they're going to go through. And it's when you least expect it, and they're quick. When they see it opening, they go. But that is what my thought is right now, is doing that. And like I said, I'll have to make a video once I get some of the underbrush cleared out. And then, of course, the forestry mulching will be here May 1st. So when that happens, then I definitely have to have gates and everything set up ready to go, because as soon as the forestry mulching comes through, that is going to connect Gregory Lane to Purdom Lane. So because I don't want people coming through my property, I'm going to have the gates sitting there ready to go. So as soon as forestry mulching's done, I can slap up some gates, at least, gates that I can chain. I can do the mechanical gates later. Of course, I don't have money for that right now. Hadn't even planned for any gates right now, because I hadn't planned to go this route. I was going to work along Purdom Lane this year. But because I want to try to get things moving to the homestead, because I really don't want to be here 7 years. And I'm starting to weigh out my options and things like that. And like I say, if I get the rental house sold, then that gives me some money to get more things going. But I want to try to get over to the homestead. So that's what my plan is if I work from the house site down, get the driveways connected, then I can't do anything until I got a dozer, because I've got to put roads in. Because if I'm trying to haul rock in my truck and bouncing over stumps and stuff like that, it's not feasible. I'll end up snapping an axle or something else. And I don't need to do damage to my truck, because then that's more money I need that I don't have. So my idea right now and my thoughts, the process is working on the house site, keep doing what I'm doing. I'll do videos while I'm out there. I've been forgetting my tripod and my selfie stick thing. Don't even know where a selfie stick is, because I stopped making videos all the time. So I don't have all my stuff. And trying to set up to do a picture, trying to set my phone in a tree, it just doesn't work. So I will be making some more videos. I know everybody wants more videos. I've had questions about the baby calf. He's doing good. Big Mama is now very protective. She wasn't protective at first, as you guys saw in that very first video when the piglet was trying to grab on the baby cow. She does not want me to go anywhere by him. So for the last 4 days now. I have not been able to work his leg at all. Um, she wants to gore you with horns, and he's trying to put his feet out, and I've seen him put it down on his hoof, and I'm hoping, with him doing that jerking, he's gonna start jerking those tendons. I know some people say if it's not severe, that they can do it themselves. Like I said, my vet said 3 to 4 times a day I would have to bring him home. Didn't want to do that. I want him with his mom. I want her to have that protectiveness because I want my animals to protect their babies. I don't want them to walk away and just let something eat the baby. Coyote, bald eagle, little pig, whatever. I want them to be able to take care of their babies. So I didn't want to break that mother-son bond or mother-baby bond and go that route. So we'll see. He's still doing good. He's still nursing. I feed her. He gets up under there. He's nursing all the time. He looks healthy. It's just the legs, It is what it is. There's nothing I can do. I mean, there is something I can do, but then that changes something else. And to have a bottle baby here when I'm trying to get other work done as well, then that takes me off that. So it's a half dozen one way, half dozen the other. And talking about eggs, half dozens and stuff. Like this alien told everybody over a year ago that August, October, November this year, there was going to be food issues, and we're already seeing it. We're not even anywhere close to what I was talking about, food scarcity and food shortages and things like that. We're already seeing it with eggs, and there was people talking about on the county page here. I wasn't trying to be mean or nothing, but ladies like trying to find somebody that's got chickens that I can buy eggs that aren't expecting $8 a dozen like in the store. And I wasn't trying to be mean. I just commented on there. I said, well, that's going to be kind of hard when animal feed is eating people out of house and home. People don't understand. Feed has gone up dramatically. I just saw a bale of alfalfa, 60-pound bale, 2-string bale, the small bales, $21.50 at the store now for a small bale of alfalfa. It's crazy. So how do you feed your animals? Or for those of you that expect to give the little old lady down the street $2-3 for eggs, like Patera from Appalachia's Homestead, if you guys watch that channel, I watch her as well. I throw some different YouTube channels on in the evening, and I listen while I play video games on the computer, and kind of like Candy Crush, but it's another one. Just to unwind, relax from my day working out on Homestead. But like she said, you give the little old lady down the street $2-3. She's going to charge $11 a dozen for chicken eggs. And she said people think she's crazy, but people don't understand that the feed, the corn's going up, the chicken feed's going up, everything's going up. Not to mention everything happening with the bird flu and killing off all the birds and doing all that. Now look at last year. Last year they killed off how many millions of chickens and stuff, and chicken meat went up a little bit, but eggs never really skyrocketed. All those prices are coming in this year. That's what I said. It takes a year to a year and a half to hit the market. Everything is behind in price. So you think inflation and stuff is bad now. Like I said back then, August, October, November this year is still what I'm thinking. And you're already seeing the effects of that happening now. But if you're giving that little old lady $2-3 for eggs, you might as well go to jail because you're stealing. She spent a lot of money on those chickens to get those eggs for you to buy them for $2-3. So if you are doing that, you might want to consider tipping or just give a little extra because feed prices are crazy. For those of you looking at getting chickens to save on eggs, like her and her husband, Patera from Appalachia Homestead, they said, you're going to spend $400 or $500 to get a chicken coop, some fencing, chicken feed, all that stuff. So to save a couple dollars on eggs over how many dozens, it's not going to work out over the first year. let alone 2 years. And then you got chickens that molt, chickens that don't lay, chickens that are going to get ate by predators, chickens that are going to die from sickness. What if you get your eggs for free? Where do you get your eggs for free, Robert? Tell me that. Or you be like an alien like me. I don't eat eggs. I don't really drink milk. I actually just started getting half gallons of milk lately, and I can't believe how expensive milk is because I'm not a big egg person. I eat eggs maybe twice a year. Milk, I don't drink, but I started eating cereal now before I go out to the homestead so that way I can try to work through the day and not have to come home for lunch because that kills time driving back and forth. Well, you're stealing from your sister. That's not a good brother. You should be paying her $1 million per dozen eggs. She's got so much invested in them chickens. But yeah, I mean, it's crazy. And then like when my buddy Steve came out here, I was thinking about buying a donkey and a cart for the donkey to pull. Oh man, Bolt! Now you're really talking. I mean, you've got to be a multimillionaire if you're gonna get a donkey and a cart. Because if you think gas prices are expensive and driving around in a car is expensive, wait till you have a feed bill on donkeys or horses or anything like that. Livestock are very very expensive, and I love these channels. These all these YouTube channels for homesteading. And that's why I started the truth and lie videos and stuff like that because they show you butterflies and unicorns. They show you everything wonderful and they don't show you the bad things or they don't tell you about the bad things. And there's bad things I don't even tell you guys about. And the thing is, everybody talks about, oh, you can make all this money on the homestead. And they get chickens and they sell eggs and they're like, boom, 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 boom. Okay, I paid all my chickens off and they're paying for their feed and I'm still making money. But they never included all the fencing. They didn't include the chicken hutch. They didn't include how much the land costs. They didn't include the electric bill for the heat lamps and light lamps and all that so the chickens lay more. They didn't include the water bill or anything like that. All these channels tell you it's so easy to go self-sufficiently. It's so easy to make money selling animals and eggs and all that type of stuff. And I mean, yes, there's ways of doing it to help rein in the costs. Like somebody on here mentioned last week, they made a comment afterwards talking about I should do a drive-through safari on my homestead since I have all of Purdom Lane, and then I could connect it back out and people can drive in and make some money that way. Now, yes, that could alleviate a lot of my costs, a lot of my feed bills and stuff like that. But then you got to remember, if I'm starting a business, then you got to have business insurance. You have to get advertisement. So, you know, you're going to spend money to advertise to get people out off the highway, out on the dirt roads. Then you're going to have people don't want to drive down a whole bunch of dirt roads to get to me. And then the very, very most important thing of why that type of stuff doesn't work for me is because I don't want to be a people person no more. I haven't talked about it yet, but this is probably going to be the last year of the snowball business because I just don't want to deal with the public. And I definitely don't want to bring a whole bunch of public onto my homestead because that's going to be my sanctuary. That's going to be where I want to be and not have to deal with a bunch of people and have any type of issues or anything like that. I want to be able to sit on my porch in front of my house with the fence right in front of my patio, looking at the animals or walking up to the fence, handing out treats. And I'm going to have my live stream video right there at the house. And that's what I want to do. So give me 1 second. I know you guys been putting a bunch of messages up there. I'm busy streaming this week with all the questions. How much would a donkey eat approximately? Bold, it all depends. If you get miniature donkeys, they're not going to pull a cart with a full-size human, let alone any type of weight and cart, unless you have a whole bunch of miniature donkeys. So you're looking at a mule, which is the size of a horse, and horses eat a lot. Any horses, donkeys, any of that eat a lot. I can't tell you exactly how much or approximately how much. I mean, I spend 2,500 a month on my animals on feed, and you know how many animals I have. So, I mean, it's going to be hundreds of dollars a month. And then, of course, if the donkey or mule gets sick, then you got vet bills, you got medicines, you got all that type of stuff as well. So you got to think of that too. It's not just feeding them hay. Wintertime, you got to grain and stuff like that. Get some fat on them so they don't fall ill to pneumonia. A lot of people talk about the pneumonia issue, and you know what? I just realized I didn't do. I didn't even plug in this light real quick. So let me plug this light in. I was wondering why it was so fuzzy. There we go. And Max is getting up. There we go. That's a better picture. I forgot to turn the extra lighting on. See, bad lighting. I'm a bad YouTuber. Don't know what I'm doing. I supply my sister with veggies and fruits for her chickens. Okay, that's a little bit, Robert, but you might not know this. In order for chickens to lay eggs, they have to have a high protein diet. Yes, veggies and fruits and all that's good, but without the protein, they can't produce the egg. So you got to consider that too. The main cost in chicken eggs is the protein. That's why chicken eggs are so high in protein, is because they have to have a bunch of protein to do that. Tony, my main diet staples are eggs and beef. Both are going up in price, but I've already cut out a lot of junk food and waste. Now it's going to cut out waste and eat healthy, but people shouldn't have to. Yep. I don't eat a lot of eggs, and I'm not a big meat eater. I was a vegetarian when I was a kid for 2 years, and I killed that when I went to Disney World in Florida, and they had a all-you-can-eat breakfast buffet, and I got 2 whole plates of bacon. So I love my bacon. I do like meat. I'd rather have a huge veggie garden where while I'm working, I can walk out, pluck a handful of green beans and snack on them while I'm doing stuff, grab a couple small cucumbers that are really crisp and crunchy, and things like that to just enjoy. And then, of course, I love salads and things like that. That's live, not to mention a lot of people don't make as much as me, and they may have more costs. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of, I mean, there's a lot of people hurting right now, and it's definitely going to hurt more. Well, Bo, you're going to need a mule. You're not going to, I mean, unless you have like 6 miniature donkeys, but then you got 6 bellies to feed, 6 of them that you need harnesses and all that type of stuff, 6 of them to train. I mean, it's up to you. You just might want to get a horse, because if you're feeding a mule, you just might want a horse. I don't know. Yep, that's right, Robert. Special feed for the eggs. It's a high protein ration diet. By the way, you look like Merlin from the movie Excalibur. Okay, never had that comment before, Bolt. But yeah, so like I was saying, back to everything. There's different ways that you can get some money and stuff like that to help with your homestead, but the majority of it, you're gonna spend a whole lot of upfront costs. Like I said, for chickens, you need chicken wire to protect the chickens, to make an aviary, basically a chicken pen. You need housing that's vented and everything like that, so they don't overheat in the summer. They got somewhere to get in that's warm during the winters. Then you have the high ration diets. And that's why I know a lot of people aren't going to like this, because they love going Tractor Supply. They love going to all these stores and buying the little peepers. But buying the baby chicks, it's not worth it. And this, I should make a separate video, and I probably will when I have the time. I just don't have the time to make a bunch of videos because I'm trying to get to the homestead. Once I'm on the homestead and I'm living on the homestead, I'll make you guys tons of videos, because then I'm there. I'll have my tripod, everything all set up. I can plug my phone in to charge it at the house, and you guys can see me working in the garden, all that type of stuff. Growing up, my parents had chickens, goats, and rabbits. I made the goats and rabbits very productive, but the chickens always have problems, and we eventually ate them all. Yep. And chickens, in my opinion, are stupid. I mean, they go right out with the eagles and all that stuff. they're too stupid to go into safety and stuff like that. They just stand there and go, "Hey, Mister, come eat me," and that's what they do. Yeah, I'm not fond of chickens. I've had chickens, but I don't have chickens. Um, but back to what I was saying, buying the baby chicks at Tractor Supply and all that, people don't understand. You're spending $4 to $5 for a baby chick. Then you got to feed that baby chick for 11 months because it's not until 10 or 11 months they start to lay eggs. And that's if you got a female. If you got a rooster, you're not going to get no eggs. So you could raise that one all the way up, and then it's no good to you unless you're looking at incubating eggs. But then you go the incubating way, and you're spending all the electricity, and then you still got to feed them all the way up. So this is my way. For those of you out there, you might not like this, but don't buy baby chicks. Go on Craigslist, like here in Arkansas, in Fayetteville, there is a chicken farm. You can get the chickens that have been laying eggs like crazy. They're like 16, 18 months old, so their egg production is slowing down. Most of them don't have feathers and stuff because they're so condensed into pens and everything. They eat each other's feathers and stuff. But if you go back and look at the video when Carla wanted chickens, my ex, we went out there and we got those chickens. They were $3 a chicken. Full-size chicken. You can't go to the grocery store and buy a full-size chicken for $3. What did it take to get eggs out of them? It took about 3 months, not 10 to 11 months of feeding, 3 months to get them fully feathered back out, healthy again, eating good food, eating ticks, eating all that, and producing eggs. That is the way to go. If you're trying to save on eggs, if you want to get into chickens, that's what you need to do. Find a chicken house that they rotate the chickens out at 16 to 18 months old because their eggs start to drop in production. You can buy 10 of them, 10 chickens. Say you only get 5 eggs a day out of the 10. 5 eggs a day should be plenty for 1 or 2 people or 3 people. And if you have that every day, there's your egg supply if that's what you want to do. That will save you so much money, so much time. Like I said, it's going to take you about 3 months to get them good feed in their system again so that they get their feathers back on and they start producing eggs again. And then, boom, you got a full-size chicken ready to go. If not, 3 months of feed, fatten them back up, boom, you got chicken dinners for $3 plus whatever you feed. And that's what I'm saying. So you have a chicken for $3, and then say you spend $30 in feed over the next 3 months to feed your chickens. Well, now you're $33 into a chicken. So it is not worth trying to sell the chicken meat because you got too much into it. So that's where a lot of homesteading channels, a lot of people are not taught right or educated because everybody's trying to sell you their brand of homesteading, their brand of, hey, buy my t-shirts and all that type of stuff. A lot of people have asked why I haven't done hoodies and all that. I tried doing a little bit of hoodies and things like that, and I did do some giveaways and things like that. But I'm not about the merchandise and all that type of stuff. I'm just here, like I said, to document my life, enjoy homesteading, enjoy my animals, and share it with everybody out there because I know some people, can't afford this to do what I'm doing, let alone have like camels and stuff like that. I mean, there's some homesteaders that they can't spend $14,000 on a camel, let alone feed 2 camels and all the animals I have. There's people that are disabled, like I talked about in last Sunday, Monday vlog, that somebody should create OnlyFans for homesteaders that people say, hey, I want to see you do this because I'm disabled, I can't do this, or I'm too old, I can't do this, or I don't have the money. Well, if somebody doesn't have money, they can't do that. But the other ones, disabled, old, or they live in the city or things like that, and they want to see a homesteader do something. They want to see a homesteader build a barn for the animals so the animals are protected. Or like years ago, I still have a video in here, I might release it, on a lady that donated a decent amount, way more than a decent amount, to do some of the fencing that I did back when I first started out. And there's been a lot of people that have done different donations, sent me different packages that ask that I don't say anything. I've had a lot of people upset with me because I have said they've given me things and stuff like that. Because for me, if somebody sends something to me, if somebody, I mean, just sends a letter, I mean, a letter or text message or anything, that means a lot to me because that's taking time out of their day. And I know I don't talk about that a lot, but today, matter of fact, I had this one I haven't talked to, this person I haven't talked to in a year, 2 years, 2 years, maybe 3 years. I don't know how long it's been. But he called me today on the Facebook Messenger app, and he's down in Florida. And he just said he just wanted to call and let me know that people do think about me, um, and just wanted to say hi and check in on me. And there's a lot of you. I get messages from you guys. I get emails from you guys. I get letters. I get random phone calls, and I appreciate it. All you guys out there that, I mean, just reach out and say thank you, or say they want to say hi or check in on me or make sure I'm doing better from being sick and things like that. I mean, it means a lot to me. And that's why a lot of people, when they give donations and I say something, they may be upset, but it's not that I'm trying to upset you or try to say, hey, this person's giving me this, their money banks or whatever, money bags. It's just my gratitude, my appreciation, and it just means a lot. And I don't want to just send an email and letter or whatever and say thank you. I mean, I want it out there. I want you to really know that it means a lot. And this lady back in the very beginning donated a substantial amount, helping me out throughout the first couple years, and then got to the point where she wanted me to do things her way. And like I said, if somebody donates and says, hey, this is fence money, or this, I want this money to go to this, I do that. Same thing with her. I did that. I put the money in fencing. I don't put money into me. I don't put money into coffee or anything like that. Whatever is donated goes right to that project, and that project gets done. It gets filmed and it's uploaded on my channel, because then she was able to see that her money went to something. But unfortunately, she wanted me to do things her way, and started arguing with me over how I needed to live my life and things like that. And I don't think she watches me anymore. And that's sad, because she was a wonderful lady. I enjoyed all the conversations and everything like that with her. But I haven't seen her comment in a long time, and I don't think she's commenting anymore. Or watching anymore, I should say. I know she's not commenting. But everything she did for me all those years was amazing. And I never put this video up because she asked me not to. But I might just release it now because it's all these years later. And like I said, I don't think she's watching anymore. And she's never reached back out after the argument of me not doing what she wanted me to do and live my life the way she wanted me to live. Hey, Alan, how you doing tonight? I hope you guys are doing good. I am. I'm doing what I'm doing. I keep doing what I can, and I just need to get to the homestead. It's killing me. I want to be at the homestead, and now that I'm working out by the house site, getting the woods clear, I can see the dogs running around. I can see the animals coming up to the house, and all the glass, and just seeing the camels right there waiting for their treats, and being able to have a camera for you guys in the window looking off my porch for any of the animals that come up for treats. I'm actually thinking about, I might feed them up at the house site, so they come up on the regular and have a live stream every time I feed or whatever for them to be there. But I don't know. All these things are in the future. They're coming. But anybody out there thinking about homesteading, to sum everything up, you may be able to make money, but it's a long, long time away. Same thing with rental properties. If you buy a property, fix it up, and you're going to rent it, yes, you're going to make positive cash flow in the future. However, the way everything's going, you may just want to sell and get out of things and get everything condensed into a homestead. Where, like I said, I'm going to do gardens. I have animals. We know I have plenty of animals. There's wild fruit trees. Arkansas has a lot of stuff, a lot of plants and everything that are edible. A lot of ways to sustain. For those of you that have cattails or know where cattails are, there's 3 parts of cattails that are edible. You might want to look that up. The root's like a potato. You can eat the brown seed pod thing and the young shoots. There's all different things that you might be looking at right now out your window or when you drive to work that's edible. However, if you're in the cities, remember a lot of cities and HOAs and all that use pesticides, herbicides, all that. So it might be contaminated. But you might want to think about condensing everything into a homestead that you have. Sell out everything you have, put all your money into a homestead, because worst case scenario, if things do get really bad, like I'm thinking August, October, November, like I've been saying for over a year, you've got a fallback plan. Like I said, in 2020, if you guys don't have extra cans of soup, extra toilet paper, extra shampoo, extra everything, just one extra bottle or one extra can that you normally didn't have before 2020 to now, and you saw stores being empty, lines for hours and things like that. If you have not got extra, you might want to reconsider. You might want to put money into a homestead so you got somewhere to fall back. You have food supply, you have animals for meat, things like that. Yes, you may not think about butchering, but guess what? When there's no grocery stores or things like that, or there's no meat, which I've seen grocery stores without meat in the last couple years due to bad shipments and things like that, or lack of shipments, you just might have to. So it's something to consider, something to think about. The last thing I had was I had my VA lab work this week. I'm not going to be able to eat for 12 hours before, which is funny because the lady's like, are you going to be able to fast for 12 hours? And I'm like, oh, yeah, that's no problem. And that's like when my buddy Steve came out here, when he brought his first load of stuff out. We went to Harrison, had dinner, came home. We were here watching movies. Then he gets his leftovers. He eats those. A little bit later, he gets another snack. Then he gets another snack. Then he gets another snack. And then I'm like, I think I'm going to heat up my leftovers. And he goes, how do you not eat that much? And I told him I only really eat one meal a day and then I snack a couple times throughout the day. So fasting for 12 hours, that's nothing for me. Farming is a full-time, lifetime job and lifestyle that require involved community members, and it probably take 5 generations before anybody gets rich. Not to discourage, but keep modest expectations. You've got that right, Tony. And the main key thing, which I plan to make a video, I already had this in my mind too. I've got a whole bunch of videos I need to make. But that's the biggest thing that I don't think any homesteading channel out there, including me, has talked about in detail or really pushed it, and that is the lifestyle. So I've thought about this the last couple days in like concentration. I mean, just really concentrating on this fact is every day I wake up, if it's not raining, and I go to the homestead and I work on clearing the woods. I do whatever I can, whether it's 2 hours a day, 10 hours a day, depends on how my neck, my back is. Sometimes I don't get over there till noon. Sometimes I get over there at 7 in the morning. Sometimes I come home at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Sometimes I come home at 5, 6 o'clock whenever it gets dark. And that is the lifestyle. A lot of people don't realize you've got to have that lifestyle. If you really want anything to get done on your homestead, the lifestyle is the biggest part of it, because I want to live at the homestead. But before I can live at the homestead, I have to clear the house site, which I had massive trees I had to take down, which really ticked me off because I don't like taking down big trees. I'm not a tree hugger, but I love big trees. I don't want to take down big trees. But I have to clear them. Then I have to get a dozer to flatten the site. I have to get the dozer to put the road in, and then have to build the house and all that and so on and so forth before I can even get over there. Now, if you're working a full-time job and you're trying to get to the homestead like I'm doing, you're already putting 40, 60, 80, 90 hours a week into a job that when you get your weekends or your days off and you're only putting 2 to 3 to 4 hours on your homestead, you're not going to see a big change. And that's where I've talked about before is when you go to a job, you're getting paid to be at that job. And 30, 40% of that's going to taxes out the door, going to the employer, state, local, fed, everything else. So you're only getting 60% of your labor. If you're on your homestead, when you work 1 hour, yes, you're not getting paid, but you're getting done what you want and you get the benefit of that whole hour. You go to the job, you're only benefiting 6/10 of that hour. Your homestead, you're getting the whole hour. And that's the thing. If you're going to go the homestead route, the lifestyle, you got to realize it's going to be a continuous grind. Because not only am I going over there every day, clearing woods, feeding animals, hauling water this week, hauling water next week, so on and so forth, moving hay bales and everything like that. That's just clearing woods right now. Then I'm going to have to spend all this time to build hugelkultur beds for my garden. Then I got to spend the time to build a house. Then I got to spend the time running a dozer for a month to make the ponds and things like that. It is a never-ending cycle. So if you live the city life, if you work the 9 to 5 in the office and you go on vacations and you're used to going to Starbucks and doing this and doing that, going to the movies, going up to play miniature golf or go to play golf or anything like that, you got to realize you're not going to be able to do those things. Because especially if you have animals. Now, if you have a homestead that has gardens and fruit trees and stuff like that and no animals, then yes, you got time to go out and do stuff. However, when you spend an hour out there doing that, that's an hour you're not getting anything done on the homestead. Every hour counts on the homestead to get where you want to go. That's why most homesteaders, most farmers, most ranchers, work is never done. They will die with work still to be done because it's a never-ending cycle. You never get to the end. You only get farther along of what you want. A homestay is a type of self-employment. It's self-employment, but it's like having 10 jobs because it's nonstop work. You don't have any time. So like with me, I come home, I watch my movies, my daily TV shows that I'm subscribed to. I play a little bit of video games on the computer. I do all this at night. Now that is taken away from some of my sleep, but I still sleep because sometimes I don't wake up till 10, 11 o'clock. Like that goes back to the thing. If I would wake up at dusk, be out of the house at 7 o'clock over at the homestead until dusk, I could get a lot more done. However, physically, I can't do that. I work as much as I can, do whatever I can. Some days I just got to lay here on the couch because my back is, my muscles are contracting. I can't think of the term. Muscle spasm. When going down my back starts going to spasm, it's very painful. I ain't doing nothing that day. If my neck's got the bad kinks and stuff in it, not working, not doing anything. And then, of course, if it rains, I don't go out in the rain. So, yes, I could be farther along if I would push myself for rainy days and things like that. I have rain gear from the military when I was in, but I just don't like working in rain. So, it all depends on your lifestyle and your thoughts on what you put into it is what you get out of it. Like Pastor Dow, a guy that I went and saw his community. I don't believe everything in his community. It's a pastor guy. But I went out there and they got gardens. They got fruit trees filled with pears and everything. They've done amazing work on their piece of land. But like he said, it's always about putting your hand to the plow. And if you don't do it, nothing's going to get done. So that's what you want to consider. If you don't put the hours into homestead, don't expect the homestead to be done. You don't clear the woods ain't going to get cleared. It doesn't happen overnight either. Animals can be like kids, especially the smaller and more exotic the animals get. Chickens, rabbit, peacocks. If you have non-productive animals, you're insane. The larger the animal and more rugged, the less care and time they take. With enough land, fencing goats and cows can kind of take care of themselves, but they need routine checks, of course. Yes, eventually the whole property. Now, like I said, I bought 120 acres. However, the homesteading family's going to be purchasing 30 in the future. So that's going to take me down to 90. And then my buddy Steve's going to be on 5, 6, 7 acres. But because he's my buddy and everything, he's going to have access to the whole property. Basically, he's going to help get major gardens throughout and things like that. But I am, so basically, like 80 to 85 acres is what I'll have after the homestead family has their 30. Steve's got his 5 to 7. Then that 80 to 85, I'll be splitting up into different paddocks. I want to try to do 12. I'm not sure. It's going to take a lot of fencing. We're talking 250 to 450,000 in fencing. For those of you that don't homestead, don't know anything about fencing, that's how much fencing it's going to take to do that. So cattle ranchers and stuff like that have thousands of acres, you're talking millions of dollars in fencing. You know, for my 80, 85 acres to cut up and divide, 250 to 450,000. So we're talking a long time before the whole place is done. That's why I plan to do the perimeter first, and then I'll divide or just keep doing pen by pen by pen and then move them that way. But eventually I want to have 12 so I can move the animals once a month to a new area. They can graze it down, move them to the next, let the urine, feces, and everything break down. And then it's a year until they come back so everything can grow back. The goats and stuff that chew on the trees and stuff can heal from that for a year, and then they come back around. But yeah, I got all those types of plans. So it's a lot to go into homesteading, and really going to get going on that. Highly recommend getting a solid perimeter fence as soon as... Yep. I do plan to do that, Tony. What I'm doing right now, if you haven't seen my videos, all the small trees ASAP, especially if your area has predators. It does have predators, but luckily I take these guys out, my Anatolian Shepherds. I've got 4 of them. So they scent the area. I haven't had issues. We have bears, we have mountain lions, bobcats, coyotes here. Have not had any predation except for the chickens. The chickens got wiped out. My roosters are gone now too. I've noticed that. I think with the bitter cold, all the eagles came in. We have a whole lot of bald eagles, golden eagles, red-tailed hawks, brown hawks, and I don't know what else is out here. I just know those by name because I can identify them. But I mean, you can go all over Searcy County, look up in trees, and you see bald eagles. I mean, it's majestic. And they're huge. For anybody that hasn't seen a bald eagle in person, they are huge, especially wingspan and all that. But they wiped out all my chickens. So that's the only thing I've had wiped out. My female peacock, I think she got picked off. The males, I still have the males. And that's it. And some ducks. But that's all bird predation. It might have been some raccoons or whatever got the chickens and stuff as well, or possums and things like that. We also have a lot of big snakes and things. So there's predation, and that's what's going to happen with homestay. And that's what I'm telling everybody out there. If you're going to get chickens and things like that, you're going to lose some of that money. And if you get baby chick from Tractor Supply for $4 or $5, feed them for 10, 11 months, you might get 1 or 2 eggs, and then something kills it. And then you just spend all that money, all those months, an entire year, and you didn't even get a dozen eggs out of that chicken. So you got to consider these things. Like I said, a lot of homesteading channels show you unicorns and rainbows and not the truth. They don't show you the hardships. And like I said, I don't normally say a lot of bad things too. I do tell you some. And unfortunately, I'll give you guys a little tidbit for those of you that don't understand. And yes, this could have been avoided if my animals were in separate pens, segregated, everything like that. But I just had my first baby goat born, and I think a camel stepped on the baby. Um, it was crushed. So that is what happens on a homestead. Why aren't my animals segregated? Because my animals get together, they get along together without being segregated. And yes, I know I run the chance of losing some animals and things like that. But look at all the babies I've had born over the years. Yes, I lose some to being trampled and things like that. However, like the baby cow or the baby bull calf that I have right now that's got the messed up legs, I moved him with Big Mama's into the bird area up by the shed. So they're in a separate pen. He can't get trampled and things like that. So if I'm able to catch when it happens and get them moved, I do move and segregate at that point to help protect the babies until the babies can move around and get around, things like that. So unfortunately, my very first baby goat this year, I lost. That's homesteading for you. You know, just like all the chickens that Carla had, all gone. All my roosters I had, all gone. You know, yes, I could spend $10,000 and build a big bird aviary, and then they're contained in that area. When you do that, and this is another thing a lot of people don't consider, a lot of people do stalls, they do compartments, they do pens for their animals. When you do that, they're pooping and peeing in the same spot. They're laying, they're walking, they're eating, they're drinking. Everything is in that same area, and it's concentrated. So a lot of people have issues with animals being sick, animals getting worms. Look at my animals. I do not worm my animals. I give them pine boughs, they get pumpkins, they get carrots. That's all natural dewormers. There's wormwood in my woods. With my animals being free range, where I'm not spending all this money making little pens and cages and things like that, they're healthier. Just like animals out in the wild, they're able to roam. They're able to get out. Now, yes, the area they're in, they ate down to rocks. That's not good. I need to get them moved. I understand that. It takes money. Also, when you have pens and stalls and things like that, you have to clean the poop. When they have all this land, it breaks down. When we have these torrential rainstorms that we have here in Arkansas, it's like the Amazon jungle. We get a lot of rain. We average 48 to 49 inches of rain a year here. That's over 4 feet of rain. That washes stuff throughout the property. That's fertilizing my property. So I'm not having to buy fertilizer eventually when they're able to go around the whole area, through the whole land, homestead, that's the word I'm looking for, because they're fertilizing as they go. So you're going to have mistakes, you're going to have death, you're going to have losses, you're going to have everything like that. It's your bedtime. Good night. All right, DT, you take care, and hopefully George is treating you well down there, weather and everything else. I'm actually going to be headed off as well, because I just realized I've been on here over an hour, and I can't believe I've been here over an hour. But everybody's been commenting tonight. So some nights I have nobody, some nights I have all these messages. So, but yeah, so if you're going to homestead, really look into it. Don't just take all the rainbows and unicorns and think you're going to make tons of money. Everything's going to be great. You're going to have things that go wrong and things that cost a lot of money. So with that, that's the end of this Sunday, Monday vlog. I hope everybody has a great week. And remember, as always, live happy, live free. That's the only way to be. See you guys next video.